Okay, so I went way back to lesson 3-1, the videos that Professor Trevino did with you. I'm sure she worked this set of problems. Let me see what page it was. I didn't even pay attention. We were on page, ooh, a gnat's on my face. Page 30 in your springboard book. I'm sure she worked those problems out and talked about the different kinds of um, solutions, if it's consistent or inconsistent, independent and dependent, and all that. Lots of vocabulary words for you to memorize. So I went back and pulled that, and none of these were in standard form. So the very first thing was, notice that I took these right here. These were the equations. I rewrote them in standard form. Okay. And when I rewrote them in standard form, I then was able to change it into a matrix equation. So you can take these problems over here that you graphed and you can change them into a matrix. If you work this one in your calculator, it calculates out a nice, pretty decimal for you. I will do it. I know that I've already got one of these in my calculator, and I don't want to move it, but I'll do that one before the end of the video. We'll do that one and show you that it gives you the answer. But what about these right here that had no solutions or infinite many solutions? Well, that's going to be a problem. And the reason it's going to be the problem is because the calculator can't do it. A matrix can't do it. So this one right here, because it's either the same line or it's parallel lines, you're not able to get an inverse. Watch what happens when I type in A. That's not a problem. They say, oh, okay, we know what A is. But when I ask it to find the inverse of A, there's the problem. It says, wait a minute, this type of matrix doesn't have an inverse. So since it doesn't have an inverse, we're not going to be able to solve it. You go ahead and type in times B, and it's just going to stay that. It's going to say, I can't do it. And the reason that it can't do it is because this type of problem, when they're parallel lines, that matrix right there is a particular kind of matrix that doesn't have an inverse. And since it doesn't have an inverse, we can't solve with a matrix. So that means that you're going to have to go back to look at solving it by graphing or substitution or something else. And then same thing happens with this one. I think that was the one I was actually doing, was this one down here. So they give you the same results on the matrix calculator. On the Desmos matrix calculator. Actually, on the TI-84, it gives you enough of a difference that you can kind of tell which one of these it is. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. So let's go and do this one real quick. I want to show you that it will give you the answer. So I'm just going to clear all. I'm going to type in matrix A is negative 1, 1, 1, 1. And then matrix B is 1, 4, 1, 4. Okay, and then the inverse of matrix A, and there's the inverse of matrix A right there. That's the inverse of matrix A, times matrix B. And see, it gives you the answer. It gave you the answer in a fraction form, or it gives you the answer in the decimal form, 1.5, comma 2.5. And if you come over here and look, there's 1.5 and go up 2.5. So we can see that the calculator will give you a decimal or a fraction. I think decimals are easier to graph because I know where 1.5 is a lot easier than I know where 3/2 is. So just be sure you pay attention to that little handy dandy converter right there. That's really handy. Okay, so that's the end of this video. The next video is gonna get into those big old 3x3s. Okay, so we'll finish up this lesson with those 3x3s.